Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, another alert for Nikera Pennicott. And another alert has been activated for 14-year-old Nikera Pennicott of Hibiscus Avenue, Windsor Heights, Central Village, St. Catherine, who has been missing since August 23. She is of light complexion, medium build, and is about 5 feet 1 inch tall. The Central Village Police report that about 6:30 a.m., Nikera was last seen at home wearing a pink tube top and black tights. She has not been seen or heard from since. All efforts to contact her have been futile. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Nikera Pennicott is asked to contact the Central Village Police at 876-907-9504, 119 police emergency number, or the nearest police station. Jamaica rocked by light 4.0 tremor. A light earthquake with a magnitude of 4.0 was felt in sections of Jamaica on Tuesday. Preliminary reports from the earthquake unit located at the University of the West Indies, Mona, said the quake's epicenter was approximately 22 kilometers southwest of Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland. It was reportedly felt at 12:30 p.m. across the sections of Savannah Lamar, Santa Cruz in St. Elizabeth, and Portmore in St. Catherine. Clarendon funeral home operator killed during fight. A funeral home operator was shot dead in Palmer's Cross, Clarendon on Tuesday, reportedly during a fight. The deceased has been identified as 42-year-old Sherwin Williams, also known as a Baba, of a Newtown address in Hayes in the parish. Williams was the owner of Rising Footprints Funeral Home. Reports from the Hayes police are that about 10:45 a.m., Williams and a man who is a licensed firearm holder got into an argument that became physical. During the fight, the man's firearm reportedly went off accidentally, hitting Williams in the upper body. Williams was taken to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Tributes have been pouring in on social media, with many people describing Williams as a kind-hearted, soft-spoken and humble individual who was undeserving of such a tragic demise. Up to August 24, a total of 52 civilians were killed in Clarendon. Submachine gun and ammunition recovered from crashed car. The St. Andrews South Police on Tuesday night seized a Mach 11 submachine gun along with several rounds of ammunition from a crashed vehicle. It is reported that about 9:30 p.m., a police party was on patrol in Olympic Gardens when the driver of a Toyota Axia motorcar lost control of the vehicle, which crashed into a wall along Bay Farm Road and Tangerine Road. The 3 occupants reportedly fled from the vehicle. During a search of the vehicle, the weapon with a magazine containing 12 rounds of 9mm cartridges was reportedly discovered. The police are still searching for the men. 48-hour curfew imposed in several Clarendon communities as SOE comes to an end. A 48-hour curfew has been imposed in several communities in Clarendon, including Western Park, Cherry Tree Lane, Havana Heights, Treader Light, and Yorktown. This, as a state of public emergency, comes to an end for the entire parish. The curfew will begin at 6 a.m. on Wednesday, August 28, and will remain in effect until 6 a.m. Friday, August 30. The areas of the curfew are as follows: West Park, north along a dirt track from the intersection of Garvey and the Treadlight Streets to the intersection of Treadlight Common and Red Square. East along a dirt track from the intersection of Treadlight Common and Red Square to the intersection of Harris Street and Eve Terrace. South along Eve Terrace Street from the intersection of Eve Terrace and Harris Street to the intersection of Evans Drive and Western Park Road. West along Evans Drive and Treadlight Road from the intersection of Evans Drive and Western Park Road to the intersection of Garvey Street and Treadlight Street. In Cherry Tree Lane, north traveling along an imaginary line along Muirhead Avenue, approximately 597 meters. East traveling along an imaginary line from Muirhead Avenue to the Bustamante Highway. South traveling along an imaginary line to the Bustamante Highway. West traveling along an imaginary line from the Bustamante Highway to Muirhead Avenue. In Havana Heights, north along a dirt track, from the sign marked Welcome to Woodside Community to an unfinished concrete dwelling at the end of the dirt track to the train line. East along the Havana Heights to the Woodside roadway, from the sign marked Welcome to Woodside Community to the intersection of Jacob Hut in the vicinity of the train line. South along the train line, from the intersection of Jacob Hut in the vicinity of the train line to a yellow one-bedroom concrete structure along the gully bank. West along the imaginary line a gully and to the train line, from the yellow one-bedroom concrete structure along the gully bank to an unfinished concrete dwelling at the end of the dirt track to the train line. In Treadlight, north traveling 1,926 meters along an imaginary line to the intersection of North Street and the West Park Avenue to the vegetated area. East traveling 860 meters along an imaginary line to the vegetated area. South traveling 1,920 meters along an imaginary line to the vegetated area. West traveling 830 meters along an imaginary line from the vegetated area to the intersection of North Street and the West Park Avenue. And in Yorktown, north traveling 5 kilometers along an imaginary line from Comfort Road to Yorktown. East traveling 3 kilometers along an imaginary line from Yorktown to Parnassus. South traveling 7 kilometers along an imaginary line from Ramsbury to Parnassus. West traveling 1 kilometer along an imaginary line from Ramsbury to Comfort. During the hours of the curfew, all individuals within its boundaries are required to remain within their premises unless otherwise authorized by the ground commander. Police constable charged for 2015 shooting of woman at apartment complex. Police Constable Odain Miller was on Tuesday charged for the 2015 shooting of a woman at an apartment complex in St. Andrew. Miller is charged with wounding with intent, illegal possession of firearm, and illegal possession of ammunition. The matter was called up in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court, where Miller was remanded. The case was then transferred to the gun court for mention on September 19. Miller is being accused of the April 1, 2015 shooting of a woman known to him at an apartment complex in St. Andrew. The woman received a gunshot wound to her neck. Indicom probing fatal police shooting in Central Village. The Independent Commission of Investigations is reporting that it is probing the fatal shooting of a man by the police in an alleged shootout along Browns Lane in Central Village, St. Catherine today. The deceased is yet to be identified. Indicom stated that the police informed that a team went in pursuit of a man who was reportedly seen running and carrying a large object along Browns Lane. During the pursuit, the man is alleged to have brandished a firearm and fired at the police. The cops reported that they fired in response. After the gunfire subsided, the man was found suffering from gunshot wounds, and the 2 firearms were reportedly seen in his vicinity. Indicom said the 2 recovered firearms were a Springfield 9mm pistol and an M16 rifle, which was wrapped in a transparent plastic. Indicom is seeking the public's assistance in identifying the deceased man. He was wearing a black t-shirt marked Hollister, blue jeans shorts with a black belt and blue underpants. He is of slim build and dark complexion. Any person with information to assist with the identification is asked to contact Indicom's landline at 876-968-8875, Indicom's WhatsApp number at 876-553-0000, or the Portmore Police Station. The Indicom said the incident scene was examined, processed, and evidential material were recovered and packaged. The hands of the deceased were swabbed for DNA testing, and his body was photographed and sealed pending post-mortem examinations. Initial accounts of the incident were provided by the concerned officers. The officers further reported that no body-worn cameras were issued or worn during the incident. OUR orders JPS to reverse current bill increases in September. The Jamaica Public Service Company has been instructed to adjust the September electricity bills to correct disproportionate increases imposed during the current billing cycle. Energy Minister Darrell Vaz received this update in writing from the Director General of the Office of Utilities Regulations, Ansord Hewitt, who responded to the minister's call for justice for JPS customers. The OUR directed JPS to take the following actions: reduce the fuel charge for the September 2024 bills by the difference in JPS's fuel cost between July and June, and reissue bills with zero consumption that do not reflect a corresponding zero monetary value, the OUR Director General informed the Minister Vaz. Hewitt indicated that the directive effectively reverses the hefty increases currently seen. Please note that the directive with respect to the September bill is intended to have the same effect as what would have resulted from a reversal of the charge and reissuance of bills, except that it is a less complex process and the credit will show up on September bills, he explained. Vaz added that JPS has agreed not to pursue disconnections due to non-payment of bills up to September 15, 2024. The directive issued by the OUR to the JPS is a significant step in the right direction. The directive is aimed at ensuring that unjust and unfair increases are remedied in the September billing cycle. I note the OUR says the directive is tantamount to a reversal in the hefty increases via a simpler process. I will be monitoring the process closely to ensure this transpires. It is also encouraging that the JPS has indicated that it is not prepared to punish customers who have hefty bills, which are to be remedied by way of disconnections, Minister Vaz said. The Energy Minister says he is also awaiting the results of the OUR's investigation into the current JPS billing cycle and have urged a comprehensive yet swifter completion of the probe. The ministry says it will continue discussions with its stakeholders to ensure a special audit of JPS's billing processes, taking a keen interest in determining the terms of reference for the investigation. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.